Over at Bell Direct. Leanne, firstly, just your thoughts on the Oil Search result today and the share price reaction.
Well, James, we certainly have seen a very strong performance in the share price today, mostly driven by this strong result that's come out today. Particularly stronger, interestingly, to the Santos result that came out last week, which was a bit disappointing. We saw Santos, in fact, falling off about 0.4% on Friday. So certainly interesting that we've seen a very strong performance coming through from Oil Search today, particularly in terms of their production, up 120%, as you said, sales up 113%, and revenues up about 100%. And of course, that was a result of some of those higher realised oil prices coming through. We do in fact think that a lot of these premium prices coming through are yet to be factored in by the market. So we do potentially still see quite significant upside in the stock. Not only that though, they have indicated that their strategic review is continuing to make good progress, and they are continuing to achieve a good balance between that growth and of course achieving some effective capital management strategies as well. Their cash that came in was also very strong, and particularly given the cash coming in from the early startup of the PNG LNG, which potentially will come in towards the end of the year. We do think that they will start to invest this into some of their growth projects and potentially start returning that in the form of dividends to shareholders. So certainly like the long-term outlook on this stock, and a very strong performance today.
Yeah, seeing it up about 0.4%. Worth noting though, it was up over 1% earlier on during the session. Look, Leanne, just finally, your thoughts on the broader session. The S&P ASX 200 pretty flat, up just 3 points.
James, it certainly is pretty flat. We have been trading this way for most of the day, and we're continuing to see extremely light volumes going through, and I really think that's probably reflecting a lot of market nervousness around and reflecting a lack of confidence as a result of a lot of these geopolitical concerns that are continuing. But certainly having a look at some of the best performers, that materials sector is doing very well, up about 0.65% off the back of it being the worst performer yesterday. So despite that iron ore price falling off yesterday, we are in fact seeing some of those iron ore miners performing quite strongly. In that discretionary space, we're also seeing some of the retailers doing quite well off the back of that commentary earlier around the consumer confidence data that came through. But looking at some of the worst performers, it's really that staples sector, energy, as well as financials. In terms of the economic data front, it's been pretty quiet today. It was mostly all eyes on the RBA Governor Glenn Stevens' speech, which really didn't, as we know, provide much commentary around the monetary policy or the Aussie dollar. So we didn't really see much movement in the market. We saw the Aussie dollar spiking up and then falling back off slightly, reflecting a bit of disappointment, I think, from investors, but overall a pretty flat and disappointing day.
Indeed. Leanne, thanks very much.
Thanks, James.